Hi, this is John again, the owner and developer of VectorDecks. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how you could custom select which one of the rail sections across your deck surface will actually get any fancy little panel inserted into its centers, instead of having all the different spans receiving that insertion. Now, this will be true with respect to the customs or using rail objects. I'll show you here. Select that frame, click on the Sun Deck rail settings, and what we've done in the previous tutorial is we inserted this particular object into the center of the rail using the custom settings. Now, by using the rail objects, you're still going to have the same kind of options involved with that particular fancy little finish. But let's go ahead and keep it as this custom setting. And then what you need to do next is click on that rail objects, and at the bottom turn that all rail centers off. Now click OK, and when you get back to the document, it may not change everything. The rail sections themselves already know which one is getting them, so by default all is previously selected, so all are getting them. So what we need to do is to go into each VectorDecks rail that was inserted into the document and tell it which sections you want to have that finish inserted in its centers and which ones you don't. So go ahead and select any of the rails. Let's select this one first. It's a larger one. And in the VectorDecks Rail Object Information Palette, you're going to see a button that says Custom Select Rail Panels. Go ahead and click on that. This window will pop up, and this will show you a top view of the actual rail itself. The R is the rail number associated here, W meaning width or width pattern. At the bottom here you'll see an option for font size. I found when I had a large set of rails that spanned over a big area on the Sun Deck that was all one rail, that the text in here would be so small it would be difficult to read. So you can adjust that to make it easier for you to see these different panel numbers. Up here you'll find three buttons: All Panels, Selected Panels, and No Panels. And these are 1 through 10. If you have a larger rail, it'll continue. But they correspond obviously with the rail sections themselves. Now you have two ways of doing this. You can either go in and turn off or uncheck the areas that you do not want to have a finished pattern in the center. But if you have a large rail and you're only going to want a few, like I think I'm going to only have that R5 and R7 turned on, I found it simpler to just click on that No Panels. That way it unchecks all of them. And then go click on Selected Panels and only click on the ones you want. So it's a little quicker process. And then I'm going to go and click on OK, and it's going to remove those finished designs in the center of those other panels and only having them at these two locations. Now let's go ahead and edit that other rail. Go ahead and select it and go back to that Custom Select Rail Panels button. This time I'll show you we won't click that No Panels. We're just going to turn off number 5, number 3, and number 1. And you see how the text is a little larger here, because that's a relatively small rail section to display in this large window. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now the only two panels that receive that finished in the center, the fancy pattern in the center, are those two. Now we made those changes to these two rails independent from VectorDecks Frame, but VectorDecks Frame still knows which rail sections are going to receive that, and also you can make changes and it'll update those on only those particular panels. I'll show you here. Go ahead and select the frame, go to the Frame Sun Deck rail settings, and let's change that center object to this one here. You'll see it updated here. Click OK. And it's going to redraw only those that were previously selected. Let me zoom in here, show you how it changed it. See, it changed these panels to that new type of pattern. But only those. It didn't update any of the other ones to receive it. So not only will you have control over which pattern you like, but also which section in the rail you'd like for that pattern to be inserted in, all with just a few clicks.